Bitcoin breaks $26,000, $30,000 in its sight, in its target. Will this Bitcoin train keep going? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like on the way in. I really appreciate it. We broke 60,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you. Let's jump into this Bitcoin video. So here we are. Bitcoin's like 25,800 right now. It hasn't actually broken $26,000 as I record this video, but I'm absolutely so confident in terms of what the charts are doing that it's about to, that I'm just recording this video because I have other things to do today. But here's what's actually transpired from just this perspective of just Bitcoin hitting swing highs. We keep hitting these $1,000 all-time highs, 20,000, 21, 22, 20. It's been crazy, but we had this swing high back here at the upper trend line here. This was December 19th to that swing low we had. We can stretch this Fibonacci retracement. And you can see right now Bitcoin consolidating just above the 1618. This is like a 6-hour short to midterm chart, nothing crazy. And you can just see right now on the 6-hour Bitcoin just above that 1618. Now, as anticipated in these kind of swing high moves, these higher high moves, a lot of times Bitcoin will take kind of a second and a break. And what's interesting right now, just above this 1618, look at what Bitcoin has just done. Really, this is the last 6-hour candle here. Bitcoin broke away from this lower trend line, right? It broke through this upper trend line, and we're going to see this on the hourly in a second. And then it broke through this upper trend line all the way back in that rising wedge, right? That Bitcoin actually broke through the downside of and hit its target to the downside. But Bitcoin now hovering above that. And this is what it looks like on the hourly chart now. So the last like 5 hours or so, right? Bitcoin 5 hours. Bitcoin just making some moves, pulling away from this lower trend line. As you remember, we were tracking Bitcoin below the trend line. Bitcoin was relentlessly just testing that with this higher high, higher low move, right? Just bouncing off of this lower trend line, finally breaking through and then bouncing back below. And now we've gotten separation away. Now, as we test that 1618, and actually we can chart it here on the hourly chart. Basically, what we're looking at is Bitcoin right now at that 1618, if I can chart this correctly, hovering right above that area and also right above these upper trend lines. So Bitcoin just, putting in multiple bullish looking moves on this hourly charts, and most recently just sitting above this upper trend line right now. It's normal to see on the hourly chart this just quick sideways consolidation, and I think it's going to be a quick sideways consolidation before continuation through $26,000. Now, what that move looks like, how powerful of a move that might be, that will remain to be seen. But we have some other things happening on these charts that I really do want to discuss. So if we go over here to the daily chart, we talked about this in yesterday's video, and actually a video on December 10th. And we've really have probably multiple times, I would say in the last couple of months, I think, really likened this move all the way back here in 2019, right, to what has been transpiring. And if you just zoom out on the chart, look at the similarities. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked about a very key area that Bitcoin kind of broke above, which was this swing high. And I'll zoom in here on these areas in a second, but I want to chart it first. The swing high to swing low, and Bitcoin broke that little rectangle you see there, Fibonacci resistance, broke through powerfully above, and it was a similar move to what Bitcoin did back here. Swing high to swing low, and Bitcoin broke through and above. And what we basically did was we charted speculatively the potential upside for Bitcoin based on this move back here, right? So this swing low to that swing high, and we pulled it all the way over. And I'm gonna zoom in now so you can see this a little better. And I did this last night. You might have seen it, but I want to do it again because Bitcoin continues to make moves to the upside now. So really, this Fibonacci retracement, right? So we want to take this speculative move to this swing low, right? Remember, we took it from the swing low back in 2019. So let me grab this, put it on the swing low, and you can see Bitcoin speculatively, this is what it can look like, just kind of cruising up to $30,000, maybe a little bit more than $30,000. So that is just still in play. Interestingly enough, look at if Bitcoin were to continue this move to the upside, just this trend line here, right? And this trend line goes back to October, these swing high moves that Bitcoin has made. And maybe this is what it looks like before we get a dip for Bitcoin. Now, what that dip looks like, that's up in the air. One thing to note on this chart as we're here that is just really cool to look at is the fact that, just say Bitcoin hits this upper trend line, right? And let's say it does so like right around here. Let's just say $30,000 exactly. Bitcoin makes the move. If we pull a price range, right, and we pull it down 20%, a 20% dip from that area is Bitcoin at $23,000. A 30% dip for Bitcoin is Bitcoin at over $20,000. We're in that time that we've kind of anticipated for a while now. Imagine when the dips are just like 30% dips and we're still above $20,000. We're potentially getting very close to that time. So a 30% dip from $30,000 is essentially Bitcoin just testing the all-time high as support, and that's the all-time high from 2017. So we're kind of entering that just extremely macro bullish area, and it's no surprise because Bitcoin has just broken above the bull market doors, and we've just seen higher highs and higher lows ever since. The question is Bitcoin going to keep going, right? And so it really does start here on the 6-hour chart. We have targets to the upside, which actually they're easily seen on the hourly that we've been talking about. So our first thing that we need to do before we start talking about that $30,000 move is Bitcoin needs to hit these targets just above 26,000. And the target actually, so the target for this rising wedge now is, if you want to chart it this way, 27,000 plus. Now, what I want to do is I'd rather stick with what we've been doing, and actually, you know what? Never mind. That actually is. Let me remove this trend line because it's confusing me. So I'm removing that trend line, and look, this rising wedge that we've tracked, that Bitcoin kind of faked us out on, broke back in, broke out of. Now here, since we're higher, the target for this is 27,000 plus. So we actually have a 26,750 target and a 27,400 target. This happens, right? You know, this targets, if we move it back to when we were tracking this, you know, down here, we're in the 26,000s as a target, just below 27,000. Now, since we've actually gotten the break, we've chart that, and that moves up above 27,000. So that is what we're looking at. A continued move to 26,000 plus. This is this target, which is a falling channel that Bitcoin kind of was in, that we've been kind of just tracking. You can chart it multiple ways, but essentially $26,700 is the target out of that channel. And then this rising wedge that Bitcoin just broke back into and then through most recently today. That's what we're looking at. Those are the targets to the upside Bitcoin needs to hit on the short term. What I want to talk about is, can this continue? I want to visit the weekly chart. There's so much going on here. And first things first, Bitcoin did do something it hasn't done. Look at the consolidation and the buying pressure on this RSI on the weekly chart. It's never done that up here in overbought territory. But there's another aspect of this chart we have to be keen to watch. And I got a reply to one of my tweets today, basically when Bitcoin hit $25,000. Actually, that was yesterday, but somebody commented this morning, and they basically just put this chart. And all it illustrates, if you can see, is this RSI on the weekly being overbought, topping out at this exact same area that it's at right now. It's a wise tweet. It's a wise comment, and it's wise to watch these charts. I know there's a lot of people that just think the supply factor, the demand factor, the supply shock, it's just too much. Bitcoin's going to keep going. It doesn't matter about technical analysis, but I'm telling you, it does matter. You know, you can't be too overly enthusiastic and euphoric on these charts. There's gonna be dips, everybody, and we're at this milestone. Yes, we've broken this milestone, which is Bitcoin's done something it hasn't done, just consolidated on the weekly RSI and kept going. But now we're hitting another area we have to just be careful of. That's all. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Maybe Bitcoin defies that and it just starts consolidating up here and continues up, right? Like to 100 on this weekly RSI. But we are hitting this area that historically is very important to watch for. And it really is right around that 90. The all-time high of 2017, remember when people were just so euphoric? Guess what? That was the exact area Bitcoin hit on the weekly RSI and came down. I think we're in an environment where if it does come down, we're not going into a bear market, I can tell you that. But that 30% move or so that we were talking about on the daily chart right here to 20,000, that would be in play. And we'd see bullish continuation, in my opinion, from a move like that. Interestingly enough, on the daily chart, that's right around the 50-day moving average. And actually, let me just, let's see exactly where that is. So the 50-day moving average right now, just below 20,000 being pulled up. So, you know, consolidation into that 50-day moving average would 100% make sense for Bitcoin historically. And then going to the weekly, once again, you just have to be aware and keen to watch these charts. I don't know, you know, nobody knows, but why would you not be prepared for dips along the way? I talked about, you know, coming out of the bear markets as we're probably over here and over here. We talked about in videos what it looks like to buy Bitcoin and accumulate Bitcoin in a bull market. You know, I was ready, comfortable for Bitcoin just to go to 100,000 today. I will enjoy that. But for me, if I'm going to accumulate Bitcoin comfortably, for me, it just looks like those 20, 30% dips. So whenever that does happen, I will be buying more Bitcoin. And that's just the way it is for me. That's my comfortable take on the markets. You have to make your own decisions. But look at the similarities in terms of Bitcoin on the weekly RSI here and the top of the last bull market, 2017. Keep in mind, Bitcoin hit these areas, you know, on its way to the all-time high of 2017. This was in the summer of 2017. Bitcoin hit $3,000 at the very same area on the RSI. There's a little dip for you and continuation. So these moves, I would be very keen to buy Bitcoin in an uptrend, in a bull market, and that's where we are. And that's just what I'm anticipating. It's what's on my radar, and I wanted to share that with you. So there's a lot going on the charts, everybody, but Bitcoin just looking awesome. 25,700 as I do this video, and I'm going to edit some things in the thumbnail, and then I'm telling you, next hour or two, Bitcoin's making a move for 26,000, and you will see this video. I appreciate all of you cruising by. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.